in a small town down in Arkansas, where the river flows. There's a man with a passion that everybody knows. He's got a collection that'll make you stare. Vintage pocket knives laid with tender care.
Howdy everybody, welcome to HT's EDC, coming at you this Tuesday morning from the woodpile, as always. Well, not always, but gonna be always as long as I can get out here. We are clouding up today and supposed to be here in the next hour or so. We got some heavy rains coming, so trying to get out here early and get this one in. But gonna be doing a 2 for Tuesday today. Shout out to Brother Tom up at Knife Delights for this wonderful open tag, which is simply show 2 knives of any kind. Don't have to be the same brand. The only thing criteria to 2 for Tuesday is show 2 of them. So we do have 2 of the same models today to show off. One of them I just got in and I'm super excited about. Super excited to show you guys and talk about it some. It's a pattern we've seen before, but I got its twin brother now, so we're going to talk about this this morning. Also, shout out Tom. I saw your video on the meetup. It seems like there was 4 or 5 of the Knife Brothers, knife tubers, that I think they met up at a Cracker Barrel. They broke bread, had a good meal, and then I believe they went out knife shopping, hit some antique stores and all. That looked like my kind of day. I gotta admit, I was a little jealous. I think there was, of course, there was Tom, Byron from Splitting Slices. That's hard to say this early. Byron from Splitting Slices channel. Who else? J.O. Adventures, Big J. There was a passel of them, and looked like they had a real good time. And again, I was a little bit jealous when I saw that. That was pretty cool. But anyway, we're gonna get off into it real quick, and y'all know how we do that. We always show what we're toting for the day, and we always gonna start with a little Jesus in our life, Holy Land Pocket Cross, and little Jesus, the new staple to the EDC gear. Everybody needs a little Jesus. So that is in the left pocket. Also, on the outside of the left pocket, we have the Streamlight Micro Stream flashlight. Loving that little deal. For the wallet, Old Faithful, the Hubei 2.0 leather wallet from Open Sea Leather. And today, in our pocket, we're actually going to be, like I said, I'm pretty excited to get this one in, and we're going to put it in our pocket today. So what I'm toting is going to be part of what I'm showing. So cheers. Wet the old whistle real quick. My. Good stuff. Got to take a second swig of that Cherry Coke Zero this morning. But anyway, and real quick, we will give you a teaser. I will show you the sheath that I'm going to be carrying said knife in. And it is this guy right here. Gerber legendary blades, made in the old US of A. Little nylon slip this morning. And it is going to be carrying this. Oh yeah. And I said we had twin brothers now, or brothers from another mother. We got the camo in finally. We're going to mainly talk about this knife today, but outside of exterior, aesthetics, different colors, different color on the blade, different color on these handles. It is the same knife. We will open both of them up to show you that. Shabam. Shabam. And what I'm talking about is none other than the good old Gerber, and this is the 600 Magnum. Now I'm fixing to say a mouthful, and I thought about this. I'm like, people are going, okay, HT, you getting crazy now. You guys know what I feel about the Buck 112. My favorite knife on planet Earth, and that hadn't changed. Take a breath. Nothing has changed my way of thinking on that particular knife. But I'm here to tell you that this guy right here, as far as ergonomics, feel in hand, we're talking almost, 1A, 1B. It is that close. And I know y'all are saying, come on, HT, what? I'm going to explain it the best I can, and I'm going to show you why I say what I say. But this is a fantastic knife. I have been looking for this specific variant for a while, and I finally tracked it down. I've had this one for a good bit. This is kind of more of a plain Jane, solid black, stonewash blade. And we found this. This is one of my pawn shop finds, actually, where I really got into this knife, and I'm like, I fell in love with it. Shout out to pawn shops. By the way, here in a couple of hours, Dwayne is Lefty Dwayne, Cross Creek Outdoors. He is supposed to be coming by, and we are actually going to a pawn shop this morning. One of our local ones we hadn't been to in maybe a couple of months, so fingers crossed. Might even be a video spawned from that, but we are going to go pawn shopping this morning. Anyway, see how easy I get derailed. Anyway, found this in one of me and Lefty's pawn shop trips, so they can be fruitful. But I have been looking for this one. This is the camo, and I think this one came, well, I know it did. It came with a stonewash blade, just like on this black one, or the camo came with a black washed blade. A matted out, nice, look at that blade, black washed blade. And I have been wanting this one. I wanted camo and I wanted the black because it just looks cool. It's the same knife. There's no different feel, same blade, but that just looks cool. The camo and the black together. So what's the big deal, HT? What is this? Gerber. We suppose they're made in the USA. Yes, they are. As we will see, if that will come in, what we got, Portland, Portland, Oregon, USA. And on the other side, on the show side, we have Gerber 600 with some nice oil on there. We got this in last night, and I immediately went to work on this. We got a thumb stud on here. I added the sharpening choil. Actually, still got to put a sharpening choil on this one. But we have put a nice sharpening choil on this. We have put a thumb stud on it. We sharpened it. We have oiled it. This is ready to go in the pocket, and it will, as soon as I shut my mouth this morning, it is going in this, and it is going on my belt. Okay, what makes it so great, right? The blade, nothing special. Nothing cataclysmic or anything going on here. We have a big belly drop point. So from as far as the business end, not much. Good drop point, universal, nothing wrong with it, nothing bad. A great utility. Drop point is a drop point. They're great. But there's nothing super special about this drop point. Where the magic comes in is right here. This is ergonomic perfection. And you guys have heard me talk about the cousin to this knife, which is the Gerber 650 or the Gerber Gator. We've had a couple of videos on that. A few back, I talk about the Gator, and it was the knife that got me into knife collecting, this hobby. It was the first knife that I ever EDC'd, and they're both 4.5-inch frames. They're like first cousins. The 600 and the 650. This is the Magnum. The 650 is the Gator. The difference in, and the Gator is incredibly, both of these knives are incredible in hand. The Gerber Gator has a hardened rubber on the exterior with the little gator kind of scales for traction. It's extremely ergonomic, and underneath that, by the way, is hard plastic. So that gatorized material is an exterior, and underneath that, kind of like that one I got that kind of had some of that rubber flaking off on the top of it, on the top of the well, what would be a bolster, but there are no bolsters on them. But anyway, that rubber, if you get down underneath that, there is hard plastic like this underneath the Gerber Gator, if people didn't know. I found out the hard way because some of my rubber is flaking off on one of mine. But anyway, they're both 4.5 inches, which is just a sweet spot. The Buck 112 is 4 1/4, and you've heard me say, if you hadn't, I'm going to tell you now, what the Buck 112, I always say, when I went to sleep one night, the knife fairies came in, took my little paw, and molded it to a knife, and it was the Buck 112. And I still stand by that. It is so ergonomic and so perfect to my extra large hand. But this gives an extra 1/4 inch. We're talking 4.25 on the Buck 112. We're talking about 4.5 on this 600 or the Gator, the 650. But I am telling you, that is just perfection. I mean, you can see that 1/4 inch right there. That is about what I have out the back. Now, if I was on the Buck 112, this wouldn't be there. I mean, the handle would stop about the very back of my pinky, which is fine. It still feels wonderful. I'm on there. I'm not cramped. It is perfect in its own right. But this, folks, and look, if you can see, I don't know which way, right here, we kind of have, look at this swell they have right in the middle. We're a little thin, we're climbing the hill. We peak right in the middle, and it does the same thing coming down to the blade end. And folks, these finger grooves, look how nice and smooth this is. Everything is chamfered. This index finger and second finger just meld right in there. And these two right here, look at the landing spot. It is just so good. You will have to have one of these in hand to appreciate it. They've been around forever. I think this is ridiculously underrated knife, and the Gator for that matter. When I talk about this one, I can say the same thing about the Gator. But you know what? I may like this in hand a little better than the Gator. And the Gator's good. The Gator's what started it all. The Gator will always have a place in my heart as my numero uno, very first knife I EDC'd, if you will. But the first cousin here, this 600, good Lord mercy, so good, so good. And it's talk about traction. We have this little, maybe you can hear this if I shut up, little gun stiffling, a upper and a lower stifled as far as where your fingers will land when you come around on your grip. On the other side, you land on that nice stiffling. This is ergonomic freaking perfection. It is. And I'm telling you, it is right there. Nothing will ever supplant. I say never. First mistake is saying never say never. I don't think I will ever find a knife that I love and I feel that feels in hand like a Buck 112. But buddy, this is darn close. Darn close. I love it. You like it, I love it. And I am glad to finally have wrangled this one down. Took a while. I was patient. I had a bunch of people kind of looking for me. And I looked up, this was an eBay find. And they got some of these kind of come sometime with a little hefty price tag. They had one in camo and stonewash. Guy was wanting like $80 for, and I know these were, when they came out, folks, these were not an expensive knife. These were like a $30 to $40 knife when they came out. I'm not exactly sure what year this is, and I don't know that how to date it. I'm not up on my Gerber tang stamps, but I would guess, you know, Gerber 600, Portland, Oregon, USA. There's probably a range, you know, like from 95 to 2001. I'm just throwing that out. I don't think they have, like, you know, they don't have dots and stars and everything like Case or something to say, hey, this is a Gerber 600 1991. I don't know. I simply don't know. But when they came out, again, this wasn't a super expensive knife, probably $30, $35, $40. But now they're getting a little more scarce. And again, I have seen these things regularly going from 60 all the way up to $100. And I almost pulled the trigger. I almost pulled the trigger because I really wanted these. Wanted one of these, and I was thinking about getting one, and just heck, I can handle the stonewash blade. I got the camo, you know, I got half of what I wanted, because this little bird right here, to find the camo with the black, takes that rarity, if you will, even up a notch. To find this combo now is they're not just falling out of trees. But anyway, I was patient. I got one in. I got this for, what did I pay for this? $38? Yeah. Guy had I forget what he had on it, 60 or 65, our best offer. And we went back and forth. And I got this for under $40. And Buddy Rowe, I am here to tell you, there's $40 in spades in this knife. If you get this thing in hand, you will feel the magic. And wait. Check this out. I've told you guys about this pawl stop. So this is another knife that right there has that Gerber pawl stop that's a little bit past, I guess that would be, you know, a half stop, if you will, on a knife. Well, it's just a little bit past that. You hear that? And you got to put a little pressure to bring it on home. And as you're opening it up, it stops right there too. Hear that? And a little pressure to come on home. Just a cool feature. We've talked about that before. I had one guy on the comments that said, HT, I'm glad you talked about that pawl stop, because I had never heard of it. Man, I thought my knife was just defective. I thought that was a hitch in its old giddy up. I thought that was a problem. No, and that's pretty, I might have too. Shout out to Brother Chuck Briar Patch to verse me up on the old Gerber pawl stop. But that is not a defect. That is an intentional little safety feature on Gerber knives. But anyway, I told you I put this thumb disc on here and sharpening choil. Check out this freaking action. We've oiled it up, lubed it. Check this out, folks. Lord mercy. And no wrist. Watch me. Watch my hand. And you say, well, why do you put these thumb studs on there, HT? Sometimes you get magic just like this. You didn't see none of that. This thing is silky freaking smooth. Silky smooth. One hand deployable all day. I've got modern knives with thumb studs that ain't this smooth. Love it. Freaking love it. So, you guys see I'm excited. Can you tell I love it? Anyway, folks, I've yepped on this one enough. It is going in the pocket. Had to dig out my old, this was my old, one of my Gerber Gator slips, because the only thing about this, and I know a guy, may have to talk to that guy. You guys know who he is. I talk about him all the time for slips and sheaves. This thing deserves better than this. This will work. This will get me to toting it, because I sure want to tote it. But, and I've got a bucket full of sheaves in there, and I may have one in leather that'll fit this, but as thick as this guy is, this won't go down in like your regular, you know, buck 110 or, you know, buck 112 case sod buster. Those leather sheaves, this guy is just wide enough and just thick enough that it won't go in there. But I'm either gonna have to go digging through my leather and see if I come up with something, or I'm gonna have to make a phone call to a buddy up in Massachusetts, because it deserves. Nothing wrong with this. This will get me going, but this deserves better than the old nylon. But anyway, my 2 for Tuesday, the Gerber 600, they call it the Magnum. The 650 is the Gator, the 600 is the Magnum. The Gerber Magnum, made in USA, Portland, Oregon. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, you should know. This is fan-freaking-tastic. So, anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Lefty will be around here probably in the next hour or so. Got to get this video up and get my program together, and fingers crossed, we might find something cool. Hey, I got turned on to this knife from a pawn shop trip, so never know. We love you. I'm HT. God bless. We're out.
Buck knives gleaming under that old porch light. He'll tell their stories deep into the night. Reviews and torture tests, it's a sight to see.